take a look at our Suzuki main event starting grid. Reed is there. Carmichael, Villeman, Ferry, Short has a great position. Nick Way's in there, as is Larry Ward, Ryan Clark, Ezra Lusk, and Heath Voss. Ernesto Fonseca, glad to see him make it in there. Clark Stiles had a good run, as we pointed out. Greg Schnell, Marco Dubé, Pavolny, and Joe Aloff coming out of the LCQ.
Most privateers, I didn't sit there and add it all up, but I would imagine tonight, with the absence of quite a few of the top factory stars with injuries, the most privateers in the main event so far in this series. Chad Reed, final little adjustments. He really came up big in his heat race. He kind of cruised through practice yesterday, cruised through practice today, didn't set the world on fire, but when it counts, Chad Reed is pretty impressive.
Well, the temperature outside is below 20 degrees. Inside it's 65 degrees. And they are going to heat it up for the near 50,000 people here in the Metrodome. The 30 board is sideways. Who will get the SXGP.com hole shot? And we are off and running in Minneapolis. Oh, Ezra Lusk. Welcome to the world of SXGP.com. Cash, we got a pile up in the back.
Oh, Ezra needed a start, and he got it. Look at the stunt. Larry Ward. As we take a look at Fonseca having trouble, the rider's already going by the other way, but Ezra Lusk with commanding lead already. Look at this. He's all by himself.
We've seen this before. We saw this in the 125 East. A lot of riders going there too hot, and it's just a pileup.
It was Heath Voss going end over end right there, and everybody gets stuck in there, but Ezra Lusk has a great lead. The bad news is Carmichael got a great start. He got around Larry Ward just a moment ago, and he's in second. And Ezra probably much rather have Carmichael stuck at about 10th right now. He could relax just a bit more. Ricky is so good at getting up in there and challenging early in the race and putting the pressure on.
Tim Ferry block passes on Larry Ward. He gets by him, and here comes Chad Reed trying to double his way into third, and he does so.
Beautiful, beautiful. Chad Reed just ran the very top of that berm like the surfer riding the very top of a wave, flirting with that loose dirt up there by the tough blocks, got away with it into third. And what he's trying to do is match what Carmichael does. Same thing Carmichael tried to do last week when Reed was checking out. Reed understands, hey, Carmichael is dangerous, can't let him get away. He's only 4 points behind him in the championship, and he's got to stay close. Chad
Reed must have watched a lot of movies in Australia, because he certainly knows who Fred Astaire is as he dances his way through that whoop section with no problem whatsoever. Ricky Carmichael now trying to close in on Ezra Lusk. Gets a great run through that whoop section, and it's Chad Reed answering. So Minneapolis, you may get what the rest of America has wanted to see, a three-way battle between these men. The factories are represented, Kawasaki, Honda, and Yamaha, and Chad Reed is just gassing it all the way, trying to close in on Carmichael, who's trying to do the same thing to Ezra Lusk.
They're all closing in. Ezra riding a beautiful race. He needed a breakthrough like this. Kawasaki was a bit on his case this week, going, come on, Ezra, 10th? How do you win races and then go and get 10th and not have a problem? So Ezra, he understands, hey, he's a factory rider, he's getting paid a lot of money, he needs to tighten it up. He won his semi, got into the main, got a great start, but he's got company. Chad Reed has closed the gap on Ricky, and they've both closed on Ezra. What a race.
20 riders going 20 laps. This should be good. Ezra Lusk, your leader here in Minneapolis, and here comes Chad Reed. Ricky has a bit of a mistake, and Reed closes him.
Oh, we're going to see some fireworks now. Chad Reed is not afraid of Ricky, going, here, take this. Just a little bump. And you know, if anybody was wondering if Reed has something for Ricky, check it out. The answer is yes.
Clean racing. Don't want to say anything about Chad, but I think you're right.
He's bordering on doing some dirty stuff there, bordering, but I think Ricky would have done the same thing.
But psychologically,
look at this.
Unbelievable. Chad Reed getting a great run through there. Ezra Lusk, can he hold off Chad Reed? As they come through one more time. And I don't know who this benefits more, Ricky Carmichael or Ezra Lusk, because Chad Reed is sandwiched right now. Can't find a way around Lusk, so he's having to slow up just a little bit. And Ricky Carmichael now starting to close the gap. Lusk having problems in the whoop section, and Chad Reed gets by him.
Beautiful. Oh, I don't believe what I saw. Chad Reed went to that whoop section, just stopped on a dime, just rode the nose into that rut, and was able to hang on. Now Carmichael's got to be going, oh my goodness, what is going on? And he makes a little mistake right there. I think Ricky is just You can't believe it. Chad goes down.
Chad Reed goes down hard.
That's the move I was talking about for the lead, but he just went down at the entrance of that whoop section. Now Ricky's going, okay, been there, done that. I was trying to keep the pace last week, and I went down pushing too hard. So
for a second there, I thought we were going to have a deja vu of Bank One Ballpark, Phoenix, Arizona, when Chad Reed and Ezra Lusk had a great battle. And there it is. We talked about that in the LCQ, how slippery that corner is.
Pushing a little bit too hard. Hey, but you know what? Chad is not so far back. Look at this. He's going to come into that corner at the top of the screen. Villeman works his way into fifth. He got shuffled back in the start. He's behind Nick Way. He's having another fabulous ride.
And David Villeman, for my money, is the best of the whoops tonight. He has just looked flawless through there.
Yeah, the start didn't help. Look at Ricky. Here he goes.
So Carmichael now getting the job done on Ezra Lusk. Gets a good run. Lusk trying to come back and answer. Will not be able to get it done here as Carmichael has the inside line. So Ricky Carmichael now moves into the lead. We have had 3 lead changes thus far, and I don't think we're done with this quite yet, David.
And Villeman is now in third. Chad Reed went down again. Carmichael gets in there, puts the pressure on Lusk, and he just rides the very top of that berm. Kind of clips that last little bump right there. Ricky stays a few feet lower over the triple. Ezra knew it, had to lay up right there. Now Ricky's where he expects to be, but it's not over yet. These guys are pushing hard. A lot of riders making mistakes. Chad went down again. And Villeman, who was, I thought he was out of it. He was so far back, but he is, like you just said, he's making up all his time in the whoops, all the way up to third already. And his last lap was faster than Carmichael's and Lusk's. There's David.
Reed has dropped to 11th, and we've talked about him battling a little bit of a pole. He just picked up another spot, so he's in the top 10, but 2-3 falls in this is not going to help. Let's go back down to Cameron, who's with Dave Dye. That's Chad Reed's mechanic. Dave can't be happy with his guy going down twice.
Dave, what happened with Chad? I went down twice so far. Other than that, we're doing all right. What's going on? Is something mental? No, I don't think. Just, you know, bad luck. Bad luck, it's racing. Bad luck, it's racing.
When we return to Minneapolis, we'll have more of the 250 main right here on ESPN. Welcome back to Minneapolis, Minnesota. The 250 main is in progress. There's the Honda stopwatch. Carmichael and Lusk. There you see the lap times, very consistent, but it is Ricky Carmichael starting to open up just a little bit of a lead. And let's go back down to the track. That's where our Cameron Steele is standing by with Mike Gosler, the mechanic now for Ricky Carmichael.
Mike, I know you're watching Ricky right now. Were you surprised to see Chad Reed come up and put a little paint on him?
No, Chad was going pretty good in the first heat race, but you know, Ricky's putting it all together, and I hope everything goes good this time.
Definitely hope so. You think Chad has the speed to catch up, or is Ricky gone now? He's in front.
You can't count any of these guys out.
We'll see how it works out.
That's right, thanks.
And once again, Cameron Steele with the scoop. Lusk continues to come around as we are halfway through the 250 main. David Villeman currently sitting in third, and they are all spread out. And I'll tell you what, David, 2 or 3 laps ago, it looked like we were going to have the race of the century with Reed and Lusk and Carmichael and Villeman all in the top 4 doing battle.
Yeah, it was looking good. It's really looking good. The whole crowd is bummed that Chad Reed went down. He's all the way back up to 8th, but in the championship points race, it's kind of a disaster.
Yeah. He was 4 points behind Carmichael coming into tonight, but with him being back in 8th, even if he can get up to 5th, he's going to lose so many points not making the podium.
He's going to lose a lot on Carmichael. He's going to lose a lot to Villeman, who was sitting in 3rd in the points. Villeman needed a little bit of help like that, and Reed still got time to get quite a ways back up in there, but he's losing points, valuable points in the championship right now to both Villeman and Carmichael.
Well, Ricky Carmichael, if you watch him during practice, he'll show you a lot, but I have this feeling he doesn't show you everything, because tonight he is taking lines that I didn't see him do in practice, and he is absolutely flying through sections that look like he was being cautious as we take a look back at Chad Reed, who continues to move up.
Chad was the one that really surprised me. Ricky did a little bit of that, but Chad, he was real quiet all yesterday, all today. I heard he was a little bit sick. I didn't really ask him. I know those guys want to keep things to themselves. If he makes a pass right here, moves up another position. He's got Damon Huffman next ahead of him. Then it would be up to Nick Way, who got passed by Ferry. So it's possible for Reed to get back up into the top 5.
When we return to Minnesota, we'll have the conclusion of an exciting 250 main with Ricky Carmichael out in front. Welcome back to Minneapolis. Ricky Carmichael is our leader with just a few laps to go here in the 250 main. Carmichael, number 4, on board the Honda, looking very good. Meanwhile, David Villeman, consistent, solid as a rock. If you could give this guy a whole shot, I think it'd be a different story, but he's finding himself mirrored in the back of the pack, and he just hasn't been able to get a running room. Yeah,
he's going good, but I think he knows he's not going to catch the leaders. They're so far ahead. And I think he went into kind of a cruise control going, well, I'll just ride my own race the way he did last week. But he can't afford to do that now because Tim Ferry is chipping away. Why, stay on the shot with Villeman. Sees Ferry coming into the picture back there. So Villeman's only got that whoop section. Ferry was the fastest today in practice. I mean, he threw out a lap 3 seconds faster than Carmichael and Villeman and Reed. So Ferry's got the speed. He's got a little bit of time left. He might be able to close the gap. I think now that David realizes Ferry's coming, he may turn it up a notch.
This is the 250 main event from the Minneapolis Metrodome with 5 laps to go. Your leader, Ricky Carmichael. Ezra Lusk in second, David Villeman in third, Tim Ferry in fourth, Nick Way in fifth, and Chad Reed starting to move up, currently sitting in 6th place.
Well, as Ferry closes up a little bit on Villeman, Chad is closing up a little bit on Nick Way, and Carmichael doesn't care about any of it. He's just going for win number. Geez, what is he up to now?
Well, he was on a 3-win streak until last week when Chad Reed broke that. So well, Ricky will start a new streak.
He's only 6 away coming into this race from the all-time winning number of races, all put together. McGrath holds that. I believe it's 89, and 89 wins. That's unbelievable. And Ricky can hang on here if he'll move to within 5. So he could pass that all-time, become the winningest rider ever in the sport of motocross and supercross this season.
Well, pound for pound, Ricky Carmichael, I think, is the best supercross racer active right now, and he certainly is proving it. Stumbled a little bit last week, literally, going over the bars through a very technical whoop section, trying to track down Chad Reed, and here he is battling right back. Just when everyone, including the media and ourselves, say, oh, is Ricky slipping? Is his lead slipping? He comes back and answers with a resounding no.
Well, I think we can see Chad's got the speed, but he just...
I think you hit it experience.
Yeah,
a little too amped.
Yeah, he was pretty amped. I mean, that's the intensity it takes. But it's a long race, you know, and I know he's going to think about that when it's all over and be like, man, why couldn't I just take it a little easier in that corner? The whole thing would have been different. He had the speed to win it. Yeah. No question.
Well, Chad Reed has been reported being a little bit under the weather. We're not making excuses for him, but we saw him in the heat race, and he pulled a Michael Jordan-esque type performance being sick. He absolutely went out there and dominated, so we thought maybe the illness was going to help him focus on his riding a little bit more, but he went into some of the corners and went in just a little too hot, especially when he had the lead going down. And they'll tell you, Ricky will say, I've been there, done that. It's part of racing.
Well, as Chad closed in on Nick Way right there, number 27, this is the other battle shaping up. Ferry has been inching up on Villeman. Villeman's had this section dialed, but he's been blowing it a little bit the last couple of laps. The lap rider, he couldn't figure out the best way through there, and there goes Ferry.
It's almost like David Villeman didn't know he was back there, because now it looks like he's like, oh my goodness, now I'm going to get on the gas.
And it looked like he looked behind him when he went to that corner. He gets him back, so at least he does have a little bit of fight in him. He wants that podium.
Well, David Villeman not getting any help from riding orders from Timmy Ferry.
After this section right here, when they make this left, watch Ferry triple out of here. Triples that, gains a little time, and then David picks up towards the end where he triples at the end. That comes out about the same.
It's a 2-stroke and a 4-stroke. Both Yamaha out there running right now. David Villeman currently sitting in 3rd place. His teammate Timmy Ferry in 4th, and I'll ask you, oh, he goes in awfully hot, block passes Villeman and comes out through the whoop section, but this is where Villeman's been so good to the whoop section, not this time. So Ferry gets him in 3rd. If you're Team Yamaha, do you say all bets are off? I mean, they're so close in the point standings.
No, they have to race each other. Villeman could feel Timmy coming on the inside. He's like, I'm not going to argue with that. Go ahead. I mean, That's where you got to be smart and just lay up and let him have the inside. Ricky takes the white flag. 1 more lap to go. Villeman has surrendered the podium to Tim Ferry. So he had an
Ricky
opportunity.
Carmichael on his final lap. You're right. Opportunities have been there for a lot of riders tonight. Chad Reed, Ezra Lusk, and David Villeman. But Ricky Carmichael made the most of those opportunities. And here is a guy who actually got nudged out by Chad Reed on one of the early laps, and he didn't let it frazzle him, and that's experience. Remember, it's not a sprint, although it looks like it. This thing is a marathon, 20 laps. And Ricky Carmichael tonight has been the most consistent.
Yeah, he doesn't get tired. You know, and I think what we were looking at between Ferry and Villeman a little bit ago there was Villeman was getting a little tired. He's had a few weeks of flying to France and not being able to do stuff. He got tired, and that's a difference. He's lost. I mean, now he's a whole straightaway behind Tim Ferry, and Carmichael is the strongest guy out there.
Well, the king of the jungle tonight in Minneapolis, Minnesota is Ricky Carmichael. Get your flash bulbs hot. Carmichael picks up yet another victory. So the two-time defending champion on board his Honda gets yet another win.
4 wins on the season to go with the number 4 on his number plate. He's pumped. He just stretched his lead. Ezra, what a comeback for him. Like I said, you never know. I mean, and Ferry, he fought hard. He outlasted David Villeman to the podium.
What an exciting race here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. When we come back, we'll have official results. Plus, we'll talk with our winner, Ricky Carmichael. And we welcome you back to the Metrodome in Minneapolis, Minnesota, where we just watched a very exciting 250 main. As we take a look at our official results, your winner, Ricky Carmichael, followed by Ezra Lusk, Tim Ferry, David Villeman, and Nick Way rounding out the top 5. Chad Reed finishes in 6th. Let's send it down to Cameron Steele.
Coming in, you guys, the points battle was so tight. Chad Reed, looks like the bad luck gremlin got you tonight. What happened?
You know, it was no bad luck there. It was completely my fault. You know, I just tried a little too hard. You know, I had the speed and caught those guys past them. And, you know, the first crash was just one of those things, but the second one was just, you know, I was just pushing too hard and track come up and bit me, you know, and just got to back it down. And, you know, I feel I could have won that race, or if not made a good race out of it. But, you know, that's all part of racing. You know, I got to go back and, you know, try harder.
Tough luck, Chad, but Atlanta's coming up right around the corner.
Yeah, thanks, Cameron. You know, I want to thank Yamaha for sticking by me even when I do stupid stuff like that. But parts unlimited, though. Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. And you know, next week I'll ride like a pro, not an amateur.
All right, thank you, Cameron. As we take a look at the Honda Series standings, Ricky Carmichael picking up a little bit more room on Chad Reed coming in tonight. It was only a 4-point lead, so the lead goes up a few more points for Ricky. He will appreciate that. Let's send it back down to Cameron Steele.
Well, he said you got to race the track and not everybody else. Ricky, it seems like you played your game tonight and you won it.
Yeah, I did. You know, I seen Chad pass me, and I'm like, damn, he's going pretty fast. And, you know, I knew he couldn't keep that pace up on 2 wheels. And, you know, I was just going to try to get through the first 10 laps and capitalize on the things that I did wrong last week. And Ezra was out there, and I just kept really calm. You know, I learned a lot last week, and I just want to stay up, and I stayed up, and I won. And, you know, you got to ride and control at 250. You got to be careful. It's tough to ride that fast. You know, I was just going to let him go ahead of me if he was going to be wide open like that, because I know it's going to be a long 20 laps like that. And, you know, I just proved to myself that I had the smarts tonight.
Right on, the champ knows how to win races. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Cameron. Let's take a quick look at our THQ World Supercross GP standings, and you can see it is all Team Yamaha 1, 2, and